So then we needed to find a way to kind of harness this energy, what Marc alluded to at the beginning. So, you know, we saw this people power in these rooms. You got so inspired by it, but you said, okay, well then, what do you do? Right? What's next? Okay, so are people going to wrap themselves in a brand like we wrap our brand around a car? Will they do that? I don't know. So what we did was, you know, Prilosec OTC, we do sponsorships, right? So we sponsor some NASCAR properties and some NFL properties, and those traditional sponsorships have done well. So, you know, it's about, you know, really just thinking about the masses' passions and thinking about tapping into them with an insight and the way to talk to them through these passions. So then we said, okay, what if we take a little shift on that paradigm, this sponsorship paradigm? What if we actually think about taking that shift of sponsorship from the celebrity to the person, literally to the person? So rather than one person like a Brett Favre, which he served us well, or Jeff Burton from NASCAR serves us very well, what if we take it, in addition to that, what if we think about, instead of doing these appealing to the masses, appealing on a really emotional level to the individual? So you know, when you think about it, this is a much larger audience. The individual clearly is a much larger audience. So you tap into these individual passions, and all of a sudden you're actually reaching the entire world, where you speak, I guess, the US. And there's celebrities in waiting to try to be evangelists for your brand. So this is really where what was born out of this was an idea. And this idea was the official sponsor of everything you do without heartburn. Official sponsor of you. So just like what I talked about in our research, we decided to champion real people. We decided to sponsor people, not organizations, not causes. We made conscious choices on this. It was about people. Tell us your passions. You mean more to us than just the fact that you have heartburn, because it's true. You mean more to us than just the fact that you have heartburn. We appreciate all of the passion and energy you bring to yourself and to the world around you, despite the fact you have heartburn. So from kind of tapping into these people's passions from the bottom up, we're actually changing the very notion of sponsorship, right? So we thought about sponsorship entirely, flipped it on its head. So, and then when you sponsor these people, official Prilosec flower child, dancing diva, sous chef, then all of a sudden they can spread the word about how Prilosec OTC has impacted their lives and allows them to pursue life's passions without heartburn. No celebrity required. These consumers, these people, are your celebrities. So what do we do? So how did it really work? So we reached out to these people first via some newsletters. We've got some relationship programs. We reached out to them with newsletters and said, hey, all you got to do, whatever you love, whatever you want to do, tell us about it, and maybe we'll sponsor you. So imagine being sponsored to do what you love, what every individual really wants, right? If I only had more money to buy that camera, or if I only had more money to you know, get this boat so I could row, you know, do whatever. So tell us what you want to do. And imagine getting paid to do it. Then we seeded the idea in some targeted media, very targeted. This was not a mass advertising campaign. This had to grow organically. It had to grow naturally with consumers. So we didn't blast this on the airwaves yet. We didn't do any of that. There was, you know, we knew it was something that they had to choose to engage in, and that's exactly how we wanted this program to grow up. Officialsponsor.com website. It's this virtual community. It's you know, tied to multiple interactions with people, multiple channels and media centers. So this is just the hub of where things happen, officialsponsor.com. So then people were invited to post their multimedia application and tell us about, you know, what their passion was and why they wanted to be sponsored. You'll see we have about 15 categories in which they could kind of submit their applications, and then one other, because there's always going to be those people that don't fit into 15 categories, and we love those people. They have to fit into other. So we did the others, and we wanted to know, you know, what their title might be. So this is one of the more interesting parts of reading through the applications, is you find out what people's titles are. This one's pretty straightforward. I want to be the official Prilosec OTC heartburn-free working mom. And then Carla tells us about her story and why she thinks she should be sponsored. So after they submit the materials, once they're approved and they're not offensive and everything else, we have to be careful. We are P&G, by the way. So then we publish them at officialsponsor.com and put them up on YouTube as well. And then the power comes in a little bit where they actually get their friends or family or whatever to go online and vote. So we have judging periods where people can go on and vote for who they think Prilosec OTC should sponsor as individuals. And then one other element of this program, which is really important, everybody knows this, this isn't rocket science either, but it's really important. We have a community manager to try to keep the conversations fresh. So she goes on, she makes sure she engages the people who are engaged with this program or engaged with Prilosec OTC. She keeps the conversation fresh, not only on officialsponsor.com, but on our Facebook fan page as well as Twitter. So these are just some of the logistics on how it works. And then something that's a little different than what P&G would typically do, and probably a lot of advertisers. We created a formal board of judges, of course, and the difference with this is we made this very personal. These are people who work on the business or at the agency where this idea, where we formed and germinated this idea. So these are literally people who work in my organization and some people who work, you can see this guy over here, whatever his name is, Marc. They actually sit and review all of these applications, and they look and they get inspired by these applications, and then they actually have to have, we have to have some criteria on how we think about who we're going to sponsor. And there's four attributes, and I just want to make sure I get them right. Obviously, passion, creativity, the number of votes, right? How much engagement happened when they put their application up on the website, and then finally, community. And the community part is really their network. How much of a network did they have, and the reach potential, more or less, so that we could determine who we'd sponsor, and then we named them our officials. So these people, not these people, the people we sponsored are named our Prilosec OTC officials.